Hey everyone, welcome to today's podcast. My name is Alyssa. I'm currently in my third year of medical school, and today I wanted to talk about some research on preparing for USMLE Step 2. I'm part of the first cohort of students who's going to have a pass-fail Step 1 score and a graded Step 2 score. And the reason why this is a big deal is because residency programs use or historically have used Step 1 as a way to sort through their applicants, and it's been a big factor in getting interviews and so forth. So there is talk that now Step 2 will become the big test for students, and what I wanted to do is look at the research that is out there on succeeding on Step 2. And I haven't taken Step 2 yet. I've only taken Step 1, but I just wanted to learn how to do well on this exam. And I wanted to maybe do a series of researching different articles that talk about success on Step 2 and then sharing what I learn along the way with you guys. So today we're just reading a short article titled Exploring Preparation for the USMLE Step 2 Exams to Inform Best Practices. This is an article from that was published in 2021, but the information was collected in 2020. They collected information from one medical school, and they sent the surveys out to students, but only 51 actually came back with responses, and they were asked multiple choice and short answer items. And although that's a really small sample size and the responses were only from one school, I still thought there were some good takeaways from this article. So some of those were that number one, that performance on Step 2 is correlated with performance on previous exams like the NBMEs. So those kind of help you gauge where you're at. And then another point that they made was that the average percentage correct questions during practice, as well as your Step 2 CK practice exam score, those tend to be the most predictive of what score you're going to be, and they're correlated with your score. Another point that they made was that among the different strategies that people have, completing more questions and completing a higher proportion of the question bank was positively correlated with Step 2 CK score. Interestingly, they found that there were some resources that were actually negatively predictive of Step 2 CK score, and those were First Aid, Master the Boards, Online MedEd, and Step 2 Secrets. I thought this was really interesting. I had been recommended to watch Online MedEd, at least for my internal medicine rotation. And I've tried to watch a little bit here and there, but it hasn't been a huge part of my studying. But I thought that was really interesting. Also, First Aid was a big thing for Step 1. So it's an interesting thing to find out that it's actually negatively predictive of Step 2. And then lastly, the number of different resources people used was not predictive of score. So whether they used few resources or a lot of resources, it didn't really matter. It was really just how many questions people completed in a question bank. So overall from this study, the big takeaway is do lots and lots and lots of practice questions. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. And then avoid some of the resources that were negatively predictive of score. So I hope you guys enjoyed this first podcast, and I'll see you in the next video with I'll see you in the next podcast of a different article that I will be reviewing.